In this video essay, I want to explore and talk about both work I've created and work that interests me with links to this theme of altered states. Essentially, I wanted to contextualize and discuss my feelings and intentions with my own work and work in popular media. As part of one of my projects, I wanted to explore the projection of this idea of altered states with graphic design. My first project was an experiment in exploring the effects of hallucinogens on creativity, specifically lysogeric acid diethylamide, or as it's better known, LSD. While the results were humorous and very interesting, I think an important factor to note is that the subjects taking part in this experiment had otherwise never picked up a pen to draw. And while accuracy and specifics were thrown out the window, I think a much more abstract and metaphysical art form was formed through the help of hallucinogens. Overall, I'm happy with the final outcome of this book. I think with what some would label as controversial or unnecessary techniques, a really fun, interesting result was yielded. This book not only includes the themes intended for my work, but also is a commentary on the links between creativity and drug use. The conclusion of this being offered to the reader. One of my favourite projects of this year is my small moving image piece named Altered States Test, which is a 2-minute clip containing a montage of 3D designed looping animations that I created in Blender. This idea was inspired by the background visuals for things like DJ sets, with the intention of these visuals being to encapsulate the audience in this state of almost hypnosis. Typically, a lot of optical illusions and seamlessly looping animations are used in conjunction with the music. I tried to use these techniques within my own work. I included a lot of imagery that links to things like the synapses in a brain, and other imagery that links to the body, such as veins or hair. I included a slowed down edit of Childish Gambino's Redbone due to its calm, psychedelic nature. I think overall, this project best represents the idea of exploring the ways graphic design and modern technology can be used to express and explore this idea of an altered state. My next project was focused on photography. I bought a cheap disposable camera and took photos on a night out in order to simulate the experience of a night out in a photo book. I wanted to create a kind of experience in a physical form, and I found that just having the photos printed out onto a page was not only boring, but didn't really convey the story I was trying to tell. I wanted to create a more personal book, and in its simplest form, this could be considered an art book. In hindsight, I think it's fair to say that there is a lot I could have done to make this book more functional. The Japanese cross-stitch, while beautiful, isn't necessarily operable within this context. I think making the pages longer so there is more space to see the photographs would have made for a better overall design. The photos being physically stuck in the book was an intentional design choice. It is used as a hint towards the fragmentation and confusion of a night out. Overall, while I think it may be less practical as a photo book, I feel this worked well as an art book and conveys my initial intentions well. The photo book itself is a strong representation of my intentions. It holds its importance in the way that it presents the idea of a fragmented night out. A big part of this project was the principle of taking precious memories that have been printed and saved and chopping them up through a guillotine to align with what the brain remembers from the night. Where photographs are usually a chance to capture moments and remember these times, I've taken this ideology and developed it to be more accurate to memories themselves. What I didn't want to do with this subject was fetishize the idea of drugs being this access to creativity. While drugs may be used by artists like Andy Warhol, Salvador Dali, and Jackson Pollock to, as they would say, enhance their art, it's important to realise that people would have different connotations for their own version of an altered state. For example, it could be the trance-like state of getting into a flow of writing, or being so tired that your brain can barely function. My point is, an altered state shouldn't just be linked to drugs. The mind is a complex thing, and to pinpoint something as complex as that to drugs would be doing the brain an injustice in its complexity. Moving on from my own work, I wanted to look at how altered states are expressed and developed through media. So, what is an altered state of mind? Is it just being drunk or high? Is it a disconnect from reality as you're swiping on your 80th 10-second video of the day? Well, it's all those things actually. An altered state of mind is a non-sober state of mind, and a multitude of things can be used to unlock this dormant brain function. Today I want to talk about how film, media, and technology specifically create this feeling of an altered state of mind. Take, for example, this short clip from the 1998 film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. and keep an eye out for visual cues of how technology is used to express the protagonist's altered state of mind.
Okay. Be quiet. Be calm. Name? Frank? And press affiliation. Nothing else.
Hamburger stand. She's a waitress about 16 years old. They chopped the goddamn head off right there in the parking lot, and then they cut all kinds of holes in her and sucked out the blood. They wrapped the pineal gland, I think. Yeah. Now, how's your mama?
Ignore this terrible drug. Yeah. Pretend it's not happening. Fire!
So, it's obvious what kind of effect this scene is trying to convey. The awkwardness of the camera, how close it is to the characters, and the subtle visual effects that stray from some of the more extreme portrayals of altered states in media. The visual aspect of exploring these altered states isn't the only important factor. Sound has a massive impact on the persuasion of the audience's mind. It can create discomfort, confusion, and fully immerse you when used correctly alongside the visuals. Take this strange scene from the 1999 film Being John Malkovich, where the actor, John Malkovich, enters a portal to his own mind. The use of sound in this scene creates a chaotic environment that in itself creates confusion and disdain.
Malkovich! 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 Malkovich!
Here, sound is used in conjunction with visuals as a direction for both emotion and the mind. The idea is to create a chaos, a point of interest for the viewer to focus their attention on what is being shown to them. The director, Jones, uses the diegetic piano from the scene to add to this confusion. This intentional decision adds to the aim of making the viewer feel discomfort and lost. I think a large part of expressing these altered states is how they are viewed, taken away from just the subject and looking at the environment you view it. For example, there's a massive difference in watching the Stargate sequence scene from 2001: A Space Odyssey on your laptop at home and in an IMAX theatre. My point being that the way you view the media is also a massive factor in the creator's intention. Overall, I think that the theme of an altered state opens up a world of possibilities in expressing emotion through different forms of media, and also is a great subject to explore the advancement of technology as a way of describing human emotion. I wanted to delve into this idea in my own work and use different art forms to develop this. Through photography, illustration, and animation, I really challenged myself within these projects. I taught myself 3D programs such as Blender as a way of expressing my work through a new art form, and I feel much better for it as I've obtained a new, invaluable skill that I'll continue to use throughout my career as a graphic designer. I felt much more confident with this subject and was able to complete work I was proud of while learning new things.